Fatigue, and I'm here with a Witchy Bitch energy update. I am reporting to you on January 21st, the day after the inauguration. I just wanted to check in with you all because my goodness, has it been an intense time. And I have been feeling it so intensely, and I've talked to some friends, some empathic friends, psychic, witchy friends who are going through similar issues. I wanted to check in with you all and just kind of talk today a little bit about empath fatigue because it's real and I don't think it's talked about enough. And I think it's something that we have been, we ignore in our world, and we've been so in this linear Newtonian rational paradigm where now consciousness is finally shifting. We're kind of coming into this multidimensional consciousness where we're integrating the energy of the spirit, the soul, and the multiple dimensions beyond the five senses, right? That we can start actually looking at quantum medicine, quantum, healing, and the truth behind how energy actually is what affects all matter, right? And energy is what empaths absorb, take on, transmute, transcend, work with throughout our entire, freaking lives. And we may not even be fully aware of what we're doing. And so I'm just going to tell you a little bit about my journey as an empath and what I've come to realize, and up until this point, and what I'm actively working on, and hopefully I can help you all with too. So, I think my whole life I was really always very, very, very sensitive, like cripplingly sensitive. Like my sister said that I would, we'd go places, and if I saw somebody homeless, I would just start bawling my eyes out, or, if I ever saw anybody in need or anybody that was suffering, it affected me so deeply that I could barely, function really. And, I felt from a very, very, very young age the weight of the world. I felt the weight of the world. And what I realized was that as a young child, feeling that weight of the world, I literally put on weight. It was what made me, it was like I was literally ingesting the pain because I didn't know how to process. I didn't know how to handle. And it was never something that anybody talked about. Nobody ever talks about energy or the energies of the planet or the collective conscious or being overly sensitive and how to work with that or how to process that or how to find your strength within that. And I feel like my whole entire life, I've been somebody that's obviously loud and Italian, but also really, really, really sensitive. I've been equally strong just as I am sensitive. And I have this whole part of me that is like excruciatingly sensitive in a world it's cruel, right? And intense and so numb and so based in our rationality. To be that sensitive, I'm sure if you're watching this, you're just as sensitive and you know what I'm talking about and you feel me hard. But to be that sensitive is like, I've had so many periods of my life where I've just wanted to die because of the pain of existing is too much. Being this sensitive on this planet at this time has been so intense and so, just painful, honestly painful. And so at this point in my life, and what I believe now at this point in human history and in human consciousness, history and consciousness, is that it is the time of the empath. We are the ones that are going to be recalibrating, shifting, harnessing, cultivating, and empowering our energy and learning how to work with our energy so that we can harness and help and assist the planet in evolving. This is what I fundamentally believe. This is what I fundamentally feel. And, I think that, we have lived in this culture that has prized the head over the heart, and that has dismissed the heart, that has dismissed, the heart is where our intuition lives. It's where it's where we empathically feel the pain of others. It's where we're guided. It's where spirit resides. And the head is where our ego resides, right? It's where we think, where we make plans, where we control, where we, use the things to work on this material plane. But we've we've over-identified our heads as the purpose for life, as the purpose for living. And it's created this culture where we've detached ourselves from our bodies. We've detached ourselves from our hearts. And that's why we're at where we're at on planet Earth right now with, the extinction of, so many species of animals, with the raping and the pillaging of our Earth and its peoples, right? And as we begin to integrate, we're coming into, as our consciousness is shifting and we're starting to become more whole. And all of this to me is connected to the divine feminine. It's all connected to the feminine energies, right? That of nurturance, that of empathy. Women, yes, are connected to that, obviously, but this deeper energy within the self that is this empathic energy, this sensitive energy that we have seen in our culture as being so, negative and upsetting and hurtful and something that we haven't valued. We've never valued empathy. We've never, meaning the people that have been running the ship, which now that ship is changing. And I feel like we pop the zit of the, ultimate, Donald Trumpness and the ultimate kind of intensity of this, heteronormative, patriarchal, white supremacist culture. And now, I feel like our systems are finally like, all right, our shit is fucked up and we're going to start shifting that. And what that means is that the feminine, the empathy, the feeling self, we're becoming more connected. We're becoming more integrated with the self, and this is what I fundamentally believe. This is what I believe is the consciousness that is shifting on the planet. And so, but I feel like up until this point, and especially 2020, the last 4 years, honestly, my whole life, but honestly the last 4 years, but especially the last year, if you were an empath, 2020 was like so intense, of course, anybody that went through 2020 was having a hard time. Yes. But if you're empathic, meaning that you feel the pain of others, when an entire population and an entire planet is feeling pain, that means you feel it quadruple. That means you feel it. And, fundamentally what I believe is that the empaths of the world, the ones that feel deeper, which also means we have psychic visions. We understand energy. We understand the mystery and the non-material, that we have been processing the pain of this planet and the pain of what everybody has been going through. This is what I personally feel. Even yesterday, the day of the inauguration, I am not somebody who watches a lot of news. I don't. I purposefully keep myself away from that because I don't want to be absorbing the mass consciousness of fear all the time, because I know that personally that's not helping the planet for me, and it's not helping me. But I, by proxy, am engaged with family members that watch the news constantly and are absorbing that fear. And then it's also all around me all the time. I literally live in the middle of the desert on the edge of this mountain, but I feel the fear, right? We've been absorbing this fear and processing this fear. And I feel like we've kind of hit this tipping point where I at least have hit this tipping point. Like on the day of the inauguration, I got this zit. I don't usually get zits. And I hit this level of it was like the max level of processing the last 4 years of this immense amount of fear that had kind of come upon the planet with the rise of Donald Trump. And it's like, the only reason that somebody becomes powerful really is, yes, of course, he had power. He became powerful. People believed in him. He was president, but was also the amount of attention and the amount of fear, the amount that people feared him that gave him the power, right? And I felt like I was absorbing that, in a constant state of absorbing that. And what I've been working on more than anything now has been, and what that has led to was a kind of empath fatigue. I had this kind of empath fatigue, and this is a real thing, okay? This is a real thing. Empath fatigue is a real thing, because anybody out there that has autoimmune disorders or things that cannot be explained, they're energy first, right? They're based and they're so much of it, you know, in our culture, if you're into like health and healing, you know, adrenal fatigue is like this, you know, where our adrenals, what process stress, and that's what affects our hormones. And that's what leads to this level of exhaustion. But it's really weird because, you know, a lot of 2020, we've kind of, a lot of us, not everybody, but we haven't been as nearly as active, like doing as much, but we've been absorbing energy, and that has made me incredibly exhausted. I've been like absorbing the energy of the planet and transmuting it and working with it, and that has led to a type of fatigue. And so I really want to just speak to all of you that if you've kind of been feeling exhausted, you've been feeling not like yourself, you know, I think maybe like from when there was that insurrection at the Capitol to like the inauguration date, like I couldn't sleep. Like I slept maybe like 3 or 4 hours a night, and then I would just toss and turn all the rest of the night. Even if I took like tons of melatonin and stuff, like it was like this unsettled energy that I was absorbing and working with. And what I, you know, am the thing that I'm really focusing on now, and what I'm working towards is ultimately empowering the self-creating boundary and energetic boundary around the self, so that we no longer, we understand how to process it. We can hold our energy, and we're not just at the whim, at the mercy of the collective all the time, constantly processing and dealing with that energy all the time. So if you are somebody that has empath fatigue and you just feel exhausted and you don't know why, I just want to give you permission. I want to first of all let you know that that's what it is. If you're exhausted and you don't know why, that's what it is. It's energetic. It's the planet. It's the weight of the world. And I want to give you permission to really nurture and care for yourself during this time. Don't push yourself like you have to get all this stuff done. Like you have to keep checking off the boxes, and you have to keep doing this, and you have to keep doing that. Yes, you know, the time is coming, and I feel it, where we're going to be working more, but I still feel we're in this energetic transition right now where we're still processing this kind of, we've just been processing the shock and the intensity of the last 4 years. And it's still going to still going to need a little bit of time to kind of process all this. So, you know, give yourself time, give yourself space to process, to relax, to take a bath, take a walk, to not force yourself to do. You know, this is part of really beginning to value the energetic realm, is giving yourself time and space to you know, allow yourself to process, to feel, to integrate. We need these down times. We need these yin times. We need these times of feeling and processing and praying, or having sacred time and quiet and solitude, in order to be able to integrate all of the energies of what we just dealt with for the last 4 years. So if you're feeling tired and you're feeling exhausted and you don't know why, let yourself rest, let yourself gestate, let yourself process. Okay? We've been on an energetic, intense hamster wheel for the past 4 years. Everybody was up in arms. Everybody was on high alert for 4 years. 4 years. And, you know, it's finally now people are starting to let their guard down. They're starting to let go. They're starting to trust in their reality a little bit more. And, you know, give yourself time to process, gestate, chill, relax, self-care, whatever that means. But really caring and tending to the soul. Giving yourself time and space to process whatever it is the heck you need to process, to grieve, to feel. You know, I was on the inauguration day, I just felt like I had all this built up energy, and I went on this hike, and then I was feeling so crazy and so like, it was like the buildup, you know, and I finally just came home. I took an Epsom salt bath. I sat at my altar, and I tapped into the truth of whatever it was that I was really feeling, which was like this deep level of like release grief. It was really this deep level of grief for like the hatred that had been ensuing on our planet, and especially this last year, the intensity of the darkness, and grieving for humanity and grieving for it all. And I finally just let myself bawl it out, feel it out, let myself completely cry out, release it. I just went there. I went there really deep, and I went to the origin of it. And if you can't get there, whatever you need to get yourself to a release, to cry, I really feel that grieving is part of what the empath's journey. But if you need to work out in order to feel powerful, and whatever you need to do in order to release, do nothing, let yourself do it. We're in a processing phase right now. We're in a processing mode. And it's going to be creating a bunch of space, empty space for all of the new energy. We're creating a void. We're releasing everything that had been filled up and piled up and built up, and all this processing for the planet that we've been doing. Let yourself process so that that can be done with, so that you can move through it, and so that you can emerge anew, and that the new can come forth. And that's really where we're in right now. And so if you are fatigued and you don't know why, and you're an empath and you're really sensitive, give yourself time and space to just be. Okay, as much as you can. Don't push yourself too hard right now. Don't push yourself to create, to do, we need these periods of rest and creation, of yin and yang, equal. Our world has been way too emphasized on constant output. Constant output. If you're constantly outputting, you don't have any time to actually regenerate and transform. And that's what we want. We want the world to transform. We want to transform ourselves. So we have to have these inward periods where we process, gestate, release, renew, right? And then we expunge, we expel, we allow. And then from there, we're kind of left empty, and it feels great. And from there, we can create anew. So I hope this was helpful. I love you all so much. And I'm on this journey with you. Okay? But I feel a new energy coming, a new energy rising, but we have to allow ourselves the rest to finally just like get off this hamster wheel and relax for a minute. All the empaths, just give yourself a damn break right now. Okay? I love you. I'll talk to you later. Bye.